So I went there, and when I tell you, it was everything I desired for that time in my life. It was the cutest back house, you guys. It was literally like a front house in the back. When you think of most back houses, you think of some smaller version of a house. This could have been a house literally on its own lot by itself. It was a two-bedroom, one bath, big living room, big kitchen, laundry room on the service porch, full washer and dryer, a back door. It was perfect. And I had my own parking spot, you guys. Everything I had asked for while I was currently living at the other place. I saw it before I saw it, and I ended up seeing it, right? And the family that lived in the front, beautiful Ethiopian family, husband, wife with two boys and a girl, I want to say. Beautiful family. When I tell you, I never had any problems out of them. They even, because I ended up moving in, yes, I did. They even gave me they had furniture in their garage. So they told me whatever I needed in there, I could use. How cool is that? So I took the old school, my grandmother had one. That's what made me want it. It was a dinette table. Them real wood, not that fake stuff they make now. The real dinette tables that you put together and you can add extra to. I took the smallest portions of it, but I had a real dinette set, you guys. It was so freaking awesome. And I went and got me a nice tablecloth, got me some plates, mats, and it was just beautiful. Had my plate set up like my granny used to have, as if you're gonna eat but you don't eat on it. It's just there for when you want to eat on it. And it was beautiful. Ended up, now mind you, in that I went from one couch to three couches. I ended up with three couches, you guys. Don't ask me how I ended up with them, but I ended up with three couches. One was a let-out bed couch. So it's like I fixed them like they were sectionals. So I had a big, elaborate sectional. I had family could come over. We had parties, and I had enough space for everybody. It was just perfect for that point in my life. I was content. I was happy, right? So I say that, you're like, well, what Nipsey got to do with you living in the back? Because the um the area I lived, right? It was in the what they call the hood of the hood, like the black folk central, right? So at that point, my grandmother was still living, and she had I didn't want to pay for, cable and internet and all that extra stuff. I didn't feel like dealing with all that. So they had these things that were like portable internets that you could take with you wherever you went. And my grandmother had got her one because she didn't have regular internet in the house. She just had it for her computer. She had went and got her a laptop. She was, my granny was hip. So she had got her a little laptop. And I think at that time though she had a tablet. That's what was popular then. So she used the internet, her portable internet, for her tablet. Shout out, I'll get a company and shout out, because I ain't never had no problems with them people. It was called Clear, right? And I mean, it was the best. I had never had no internet that good, right? And you carried it around wherever you went, and you only paid like 20-30 bucks a month, and it was just awesome. So I had got me a Clear account, and there was one at the mall, which was down the hill from me. The old school, shout out to Fox Hills Mall. What you know about that? I don't know what y'all talking about when y'all say Westfield Plaza. That's the Fox Hills Mall. And so I I found out because I was like, I don't feel like going to the mall all the time. So I said, let me see if there's a spot around me that, well, come to find out, there was this burger joint. Like, okay, I would come out the house, go out the front, walk up about three houses, go up an alley, and then there was a shopping center right there. So I lived right behind, and if you're in from LA, you'll know it. I lived behind um, Crenshaw and Slauson, right there. Okay, and so those of you know that that was the shopping center that Nipsey Hussle had his clothing store and his different. Well, at the time, I don't think he had a clothing. At the time, it was other stuff because um, I remember like going in because I found when I would go get my burger, it would be a gang of dudes hanging out, and they gave me flyers for a new shop that was opening. So I looked, I was like, okay, cool, but I didn't realize who these people were. I was just going in there to handle my business, right? Tatted up, all that, and beautiful long hair, braided, and I had no. I was sheltered as a child. I didn't know who they were. I just knew they was mannerable. They was business, but I felt safe with them because I knew that if anything broke, they wasn't gonna be running, screaming, talking about "Help us, lady!" So, you know, I would go in there and do my business, and come to find out that that's who I was fooling with. Y'all, I had no clue, right? But um, that was okay. So while I lived there, right, in that neighborhood, in that back house, it was about maybe I want to say I stayed there because my son I found a really nice charter school. He was about to start school, so I found a nice charter school less than 10 minutes from the house in a nice area. Um, so I probably lived there about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. And he was he graduated then? No, he hadn't graduated yet. But I then knew because I had already previously lived in a larger house years before. So I knew what I wanted. And I knew I was working my way now back up to getting it on my own. Okay. So I said, you know what? I said, because at the back house, when I would open my front door, I would look, of course, at the back of their house, okay, and my car because my car would be parked there, or if I parked on the other side, it doesn't matter. But I would see my car, or I would see their house, and as I looked out my kitchen window, I would see the side house on the side of me. So while I would be in there washing dishes, right, what I said to myself was, my next house, I want a dishwasher. I said, because if I don't feel like washing dishes, I don't want to wash dishes. I said, now mind you, I didn't think like, oh, this is it. I'll be here for. No, I knew. I was like, my next house, I was speaking it because I knew that it was coming, right? I said, my next house, I want it to be a full home. And I want, when I look out my kitchen, I want to see a nice big backyard. That's what I said. I said, and when I look out my front door, I want to see a nice big front yard. I said, in my next house, I don't just want a parking spot. I want my own 2-car garage. I said, I want, and I just started saying what I wanted. It was an older home, so it had the wall heater. Y'all know the old school brick. The brick one that's like square. I said I want central heat, and it did not have air. I had went and purchased a air conditioner for the windows since it had a bar. So I had a air conditioner, which it worked perfect. So I wasn't really tripping not having air because I had that one. But I said I wanted central heating and central air in my next home. And I began to get excited for it. I didn't complain about not having what I didn't have there. I was just content where I was, but anticipating what I was going to receive. Every time I thought about it, I got excited because I knew it was coming. You know, every time I looked out the window, I just smiled. Because I'm like, man, like this is cool, but my next one, because I remember where I came from, right? So sometimes, in order not to complain about where you are, you got to look back and look at where each step that you've come. And if you be grateful for where you've come, then you will receive what you want. And that's how I ended up here, now in my oasis. Wasn't looking for no house, wasn't really thinking about it, because one of my other criteria was it had to be my job. I wasn't going to commute, so I wanted my job to be accessible. I wanted it to be like 10-15 minutes. I didn't want to have to deal with that traffic, that LA traffic, that downtown traffic. I didn't want none of that. And I wanted it in another city, which I said the specific city because I had lived there before. I said either one or two. There's two adjoining cities, and I'm not saying it because I don't want to have to hurt nobody. But I didn't want to be where I was. I wanted to be 80-90 miles out where I used to live. And guess where I'm at? 80-90 miles out where I used to live. And when I look out my kitchen window now, I see my nice big backyard. When I open my front door, I see a nice big front yard. I have a 2-car garage. I have central air, central heating, and I even got some bonuses. I got, instead of 2 bedrooms, I got 3 bedrooms. I got 2 baths, and the 1 bath is attached to my master suite bedroom, and so that's my little private nook. My husband lets me use that as my bathroom. He's so cool, y'all. I got a cool husband. I made it all pink and pretty. It's my girly spa. But I just said that because I want to help somebody who might, be looking for some stuff and decide wanting some things in life, and you may not see it yet. You're never gonna see it if you don't already see it. You have to believe that it's possible and that you can get it in order to get it. On my job, there were times where I was just like, you know what, I don't know if I could do this no more. But I wanted to continue to do it. So I said, okay, I want another position, or I want to move to a different department. And I specifically said what I wanted. And guess what? Within 6 months to a year, a new job opening, a new promotional opportunity would come available. And exactly what I wanted. Because I'm going to be honest, it had been my desire. My granny messed me up, y'all, in a whole lot of ways, that woman. I saw her, she was my hero, right? And she worked on a job darn near 20, I think she retired at 25 years, 26 years. My grandpa stayed on his until 30 something. And I said, no. I said, no, that's too long, Papa. So I didn't want that. But when I saw 25, I said, 25 is a cool number. I don't know why, but I said that. And so at that point, I had yet to been on one 6 months to a year, right? I thought I was going to make a year, and they had let me go. So I was like, Granny, how do you do it? I'm like, that's a long time. So I made up my mind. I said, I'm going to get me someplace, and I'm going to stay there that long, because I wanted to show I had the endurance and the longevity too. So within those years, when I made a year, I was like, yes! I finally made a year. Then I made 5 years. I was like, yes! Now, mind you, this company I worked for had incentives. Every 5 years, you got a certificate, and you got like a pen, or you got a plaque, or you got a certificate, or something like that. So that made me